Show is your weekly dose of inspiration. Your health is your greatest wealth, and it's worth fighting for. Catch My Health, My Mississippi live on WMPR 90.1 FM and on YouTube at Charles and the Fighters. Don't miss it. Let food power your mood and fuel your life. We're proud to have My Health, My Mississippi as a sponsor on WMPR 90.1 FM.
The future in great health today. Every day responsible self. Where the fighters will fight for health. The future in great health today. Every day responsible self. Where the fighters will fight for health. The future in great health today. Every day, responsible self. Where the fighters will fight for health. The future in great health today. Every day, responsible self.
Well, good morning and welcome to My Health, My Mississippi. We're here live on WMPR 90.1, providing you with some healthy, helpful information that you can grab on the run. You're listening to the number one station in the nation that's providing you with this kind of information. Listen, thank you again for waking up on a Thursday morning to be on My Health, My Mississippi, the number one show on the radio. And we're going to be giving you some information again that's going to make a difference in your life for the rest of your life, because that's what we're all about. You matters. Food matters. So let me just start off like I always start off by saying, high blood pressure is not mandatory. Type 2 diabetes is not mandatory. And high cholesterol is not mandatory. But action is required. And we got to do something different to have some different results. So you're tuned in now, and you are going to get some different results. I'm so excited this morning to have Miranda Loeffler with me this morning. She is with Talking Book Service. She's the director there, Mississippi Library Commission. And, a lot of us hadn't even heard about it. I'm going to get her to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about it. But it is so amazing. I always say, even on my cooking show, feed your body, feed your mind. And you need to do it all the time. But there's some of us who may be having some condition we can't feed our mind like we want to or like we used to if we think there's no hope. Well, thank you for tuning in this morning, because hope is in the house, right?
All right.
Hope is in the house. So good morning, Miranda.
Good morning, Charles. I'm just thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show today. And thank you to all the listeners who are taking their time out of their morning and listening and feeding their bodies and their minds this morning, like you said.
Well, we're so glad to have you here. Just go ahead and introduce yourself and let people know who you are, and then we'll jump into it.
Okay, well, everyone, my name is Miranda Loeffler. Like Charles introduced me, I am the Talking Book Services Director of the Mississippi Library Commission. And so I have a background in public librarianship, and I've worked in public libraries for a few years in the metro area, the Pearl Public Library specifically. And then by faith, I kind of made my way to my position that I have now. And I have a master's in library science, and we just seek to serve our communities and provide the most resources with the tax dollars that you're paying for with your public libraries. So,
and serving you are doing. It seemed like this was a position just made for you. You went
yes,
through everything.
Yes.
Well, that is so awesome. We're titling this message because we always talk about, our health and everything here, but we're titling this particular segment "Food for the Body, Books for the Mind," and you guys are going to be so surprised when you hear about the information that Miranda is going to be giving us, and you're going to understand why she's on this My Help My Mississippi this morning, right? So I just want to ask you though, before we dive into details, can you tell me about one moment or story from the Talking Book service that really stayed with you?
Yeah, for sure. So, this position means so much to me, and is so close to my heart. What I do every day, so that all may read, is because growing up, my mother, she always told me that she couldn't read, that she just couldn't read. She failed out of school. Her teachers just kind of passed her along. Um, and she could read, but
Uh-huh.
she didn't enjoy reading,
Right.
and she didn't believe that there was any value to her life with reading because it frustrated her.
Mm-hmm.
Every time she would try to read, she would get so caught up in not being able to comprehend or not being able to really read through a word and then getting stuck on that word. And then her attention would divert elsewhere.
Yeah.
She has severe ADHD, and a pretty severe reading disability that goes along with that. And so but she wanted me to do well in school. So she would have me read my schoolwork to her every night. And as I got older and I started progressing and reading, first beginner books, then chapter books, then getting into other things, I still continued to read to her. And she
Wow.
would tell me that she told me one day that she had discovered that she loved to read through me. She discovered that listening to it, having that
Wow.
audio component, she was able to comprehend the story and comprehend the words and remember it.
Wow.
And so she said she cried, and she told me that she just had no idea that she could read. She just needed the audio version of it.
Wow. That's personal.
Yes, it is.
I can see why you would remember that
Mhm.
one. Yeah, and that means so much too. I mean, to be able to do something and then help the family, it's like me changing my life, eating well. It just does so my heart good when I see family members like my wife change the way she's eating. It
Yeah.
means something.
For sure. I'm really close with my mom. She actually every couple days, and she actually reads faster than I do now. This lady, she devours the books. I mean, she'll ask me 3 days after we started a book together. She's like, "What are you reading now?" And I'm like, "I'm only 5 hours in. Slow down."
So for our listener, can you tell our listeners what the Talking Book service is and who it helps?
Yes, for sure. So, Talking Book Services, we are a free library service for the state of Mississippi, and we provide large print materials, audio materials, and braille materials for eligible Mississippians. So, by eligible, what I mean by that is you have to qualify for our services.
Mhm.
And to qualify, you would be blind or visually impaired. You would have a physical impairment that holding a standard print book would be uncomfortable. Issues with your hands, tremors, arthritis, limb difference, things like that. So that you could maybe listen to the audio instead and not have to hold the book. And then our third group of folks that we serve are those with reading disabilities.
Mhm.
And so the audio component, while they may be able to, physically read standard print, the audio component can help them comprehend and further their understanding of whatever they are reading.
That is awesome. And a lot of our audience, we have some of those disabilities, and we've just kind of decided, there's no hope. But you're, like I said earlier, bringing hope.
You just
Hope
try
is
to
in the
cope
house.
with it,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do that.
Right. You don't have to just cope with it. There is help in the house.
Yes, for sure.
That is awesome. Well, how did the Talking Book service get started?
Okay, so I'm going to kind of back up
Okay.
almost 100 years here, 95 actually.
Okay.
So while we serve the state of Mississippi, we're called a network library. There's a network library in every single state.
Really?
This is a national service, and we are administered by the National Library Service. Get ready, this is a mouthful
Yeah.
here. the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled of the Library of Congress. So we're actually administered by the Library of Congress, a special fund section of it for the blind and print disabled. And the National Service began in 1931. March 3rd of 1931, actually.
Wow.
That is when the Pratt-Smoot Act was passed. So Representative Ruth Pratt and Senator Reed Smoot, they saw the need and heard the need from their constituents that individuals who were blind and severely visually impaired, so legally blind, didn't have any reading materials. And they were very expensive to produce. And so they decided with their constituents to begin a mail-based library service. Because at the time, there was only one small Braille collection in Washington, D.C. And if you can't make it there, what are you supposed to do?
Right. Yeah.
And so it was dependent, it was community dependent on whether or not you could get reading materials if you were a Braille reader. And so this National Library Service began. The act was passed. It was signed by President Hoover, and it created appropriations for the National Library Service to begin as an entity. And then in 1970 is when Mississippi got their network library. So the Mississippi Talking Book Services has been around since 1970, but the national program 1931.
Wow. And I'm so glad you're here informing our people that we have this service
Yes.
right here. And although it's nationally, we can, we really need to be getting this information out to our people.
Absolutely.
So this is good. Now, what kind of books and magazines can people have access to?
Okay, well, I think I was waiting for this question.
Me
This is my
too, because
favorite
I
one.
wanted to know what kind of help books and things like that.
As
Go
a
ahead.
librarian, I love giving reading advice. We call it reader advisory to our patrons, and I love helping someone to find the best book for them and seeing their face just light up whenever they're reading it.
Okay.
So the kind of books that we actually provide materials from 0 to adult. So we don't only serve adults.
Okay.
We have tons of children's materials, juvenile materials, and young adult materials as well. We have a wide range, over 200,000 titles of fiction and nonfiction. And then all of the genres in between, like romance, thriller, suspense, horror, mystery. We have a lot of people who love the detective mysteries and the cozy romances, we have all of that. And we have a lot of devotional and religious materials as well. So, and over 1,000 titles are added monthly.
Over 1,000 titles? This is really growing.
Yeah, it is growing. So there was along the history of the National Library Service, once upon a time, they were recording each individual book and sending it out for our patrons. That's the word we have for our clients. And so, but whenever copyright law was amended with the Chafee Amendment, it enabled us to take audio that's produced by commercial audio, sellers, producers, and use that for individuals who qualify. It's like a special class of copyright.
Okay. And when did this change?
This, I knew that was the one date you're gonna ask me for. I didn't have. I don't have the exact date for the Chafee Amendment, but you can easily. NLS has a website. They have a whole page about it.
So it keeps getting better. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes.
It's growing.
The service is growing. Absolutely.
So it's growing, and so we are here today. We're talking to Miranda Loper. She is the director of Talking Book Service. And we are trying to help our people here on WMPR 90.1 realize that they can enjoy the things that help the mind, and reading It does so much. And
Yes.
you said it earlier, and I like the way you said it. You know, sometimes we just feel like there's no hope, and we just cope.
Mhm.
Notice I did it. No hope. We just
Yeah.
cope.
Love the rhyme. Easy to remember, right?
Yes. But that is so incredible. And when you was talking earlier, I was thinking about my mom. Because my mom had like a third grade education back then, and this would have been so incredible. Actually, it was around. I just didn't know about it because it came to Mississippi in
Yes.
1970. She died in 1985. So it would have been cool to know about it. And that's why I wanted you to be here so that you can share with the people this
Yeah.
type of service.
And we may even have listeners that are thinking, well, you know, I don't really like books, but I do read a lot of magazines.
Yes.
And so we have over 100 magazines. I think it's around 140, probably closer, you know,
Growing
maybe
every month.
between 140, 200, you know, it grows.
Uh-huh.
But we have tons of them in different formats. So we have them in audio, we have them in braille, and we have some in large print as well.
I think that large print is going to be so good.
Yeah. And so
For me.
just a few examples of magazines. We've got National Geographic, we've got Essence, we've got The Economist as a popular one. And
Yeah.
people are upset whenever that one doesn't get distributed at the exact time they think it's
Think it's
supposed to
going to.
be.
That is so good.
We have AARP, and we have
Oh, that's good.
tons of magazines about cooking, poetry, sports
Say that again.
schedules.
Cooking.
Yes, cooking.
Yeah, so a lot of times people can't read recipes and do things like that. Now they can listen to them.
Yes,
That's the
absolutely.
key.
Yes. And then we also, another popular one is Reader's Digest. We have that
Oh,
one
my
in
goodness.
multiple
That's been
formats as well.
That is so good. You just open the eyes of so many people. I'm
You don't
serious.
have to get the tiny one that you can't read.
Can't read, right. Well, can you describe how the playback equipment works?
Yes, absolutely. So we have quite a bit of equipment. It's all provided by the National Library Service. So it's provided to us by the Library of Congress. And so we have this playback equipment for the audio. Now, you know, Braille is a different story.
Right.
But for the audio specifically, we actually have some digital talking book machines. And so it's just a digital talking book player. And so what it is, it's kind of this rectangular device that it has a handle that pulls out, it has a cord that's attached to it. And it is designed so that a person who is incredibly visually impaired or has total blindness
Mhm.
can work this with going through the user manual that's automatically loaded onto each one, and can work it independently, because that's what we focus on, is independence for our
Yes.
patrons, not having to rely on anyone to read to them, to you know, be able to assist them. It's very easy to work, very user friendly. And how it works, the playback equipment, specifically the digital talking book machines, this is a mail-based program. So
Mhm.
it comes all through the USPS.
Okay.
No postage. You don't ever pay for postage.
Awesome.
We have some individuals who lose their box and just pay to send it in. We're like, no, just call us and we'll send you another box. Don't pay for postage.
Okay.
And so how it works is we actually have these things called cartridges. So some folks who are listening may remember, if they know about our service already, we circulated cassettes for a long time. It was a
Yeah.
very reliable way to circulate the audio,
Right.
because we all know how the mail can be a little rough
Right.
with items sometimes, and cassettes were hardy. And so now we have these, they're kind of white rectangle. They look almost like a cassette, but it is a USB inside,
Okay.
encased in plastic. And so it's easy to use for mobility, for our folks who have issues with mobility. And what we do is we load 5 to 15 books on each one, send it to you in the mail. You pop it in your machine, you press play, you can fast forward, rewind, all of those good things. We even have a sleep timer on there,
Wow.
where you don't lose your place if you're lulled to sleep by your book.
Wow.
And whenever you're finished with your books, you put it back in the mail, you send it back to us, and each person gets 3 cartridges at a time. So it's designed so that hopefully if you're circulating them and you got one in the mail, you're listening to one, you got one on standby, you're never without books to read. And we have a lot of patrons who really love that, who've told us that the way that we do that is really wonderful for them because they don't ever have to be alone with nothing to do.
That was my next question. I was going to ask you, have you had a favorite story or, feedback from someone?
Yeah. So, gosh, this one was hard to pare down. So a favorite story, I told the story about my mom, and then we also have some kind of accessible technology in-house. So
Okay.
while we're a mail-based, phone-based, and email-based program, and you
Mhm.
don't have to ever come see us, like, you would step foot in a public library to be able to use their services
Right.
or use them online. But with us, our patrons are all over the state, so we don't always see all of them. But you can still come in person to the Mississippi Library Commission on Ridgewood Road and come talk to us and see your
Yeah.
librarians that you interact with. And we do have a small area with accessible equipment such as magnifiers. And we had a patron. He was becoming a patron,
Okay.
and he was losing his vision, and he still wanted to retain that independence. Back to that, independence is such
Yeah.
a core value here.
Yeah.
And he came in and he wanted to fill out a paper application because he said that, the internet was great and fine, but he
Yeah.
wanted a paper application, but he was having trouble seeing it. And so we took him over to one of our magnifying stations where he could slip his paper under the magnifier and magnify it to the strength that he needed it to be.
Mhm.
And he just told us how much it meant to him that he was still able to do that without any help.
Giving them that independence
Yes.
back can you, because I can only imagine.
The frustration.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's so frustrating.
And you can almost go into a hole because you don't want to ask, you don't want to
Mhm.
bother, you don't want to say anything. This is life changing.
It is.
It really can be life changing.
And we have so many patrons that tell us that they don't want to be a burden. That's something that we
know.
hear so often. And we can help you get that independence back with your reading. And we are happy to help you.
Well, that's a good lead into what I want to ask. How can someone sign up to be
All right.
a
So,
part of this?
if I can I share one more
Yes,
sweet story?
we love stories.
Okay. So we do an event at the state fair every year. So we partner with the state fair and we go for their Senior American Day. So
Okay.
if you're, in town and you want to go during the Senior American Day, we have a table there and we always are signing folks up on the spot.
Okay.
And then this year there's an organization called Joni and Friends.
Okay.
And they are a religious-based organization who helps families with children with disabilities find churches that are equipped to handle disabilities and
Mhm.
also find resources that can help them. And so they don't feel so alone. It's a
Right.
support organization.
Oh my goodness.
And so they hosted an event that was tons of vendors, and we were a vendor, that are just supportive, kind of what you call your community champions.
Right.
And so we actually had some Braille Legos set up, and we were helping the kids kind of, if they were sighted, as we call individuals who do have sight, they could spell their name out in Braille Legos. We have these Braille alphabet cards that they can kind of decode, and
Yeah.
it's almost like a game. And they were spelling their name, and we had one little boy walk up, and his mom told us she was like, he's kind of shy. He doesn't really communicate well. He had autism and a reading disability. And so she said that he only listened to one book. And I asked him, I was like, if I may ask, what is your favorite book to listen to? And he kind of, he he didn't really want to tell me. And then I said, it's okay, you can tell me. I said, I'm going to see if we have it. And he said, creepy carrots. And I looked it up in our system, and creepy carrots was there. And he was so excited, and we got him signed up that day. So it was just a really sweet experience that we had his favorite book, and then he was so excited. He was jumping up and down. He was ready to read Creepy Carrots on audio.
Oh my goodness. You know, it's amazing. You mentioned autism, and it's just so many people that this can help, and cooking magazines where folk feel like they have to depend on other people to cook for because they can't read these, you know, ingredients of food that comes in the magazine. You know, a lot of ingredients are there in the magazine. This is so incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
So incredible. Helping to take people to another level. So that's one way they can sign up when you're at the fair, but how else?
Okay, so the other way they can sign up, we do have a website.
Okay.
And I can say it out loud
Yes,
here if you'd like.
absolutely.
So it is mlc.ms.us, and then it's a /TBS/. So it's all the acronyms for Mississippi Library Commission, Library, Mississippi, United States, and then Talking Book Services.
Yes.
So just kind of the acronyms for all of those. And so we have a page that kind of in bullet form talks about all the services that we provide, because it's so much that I can't talk about all of it here today. Like Braille, we have a mass of Braille that we can provide. But also you can go on there. There's applications.
Okay.
It's a digital application. It's a fillable PDF, so you can type it in the fields once you download it. And what you need is, we need your contact information so that we can call you and set up service. We need an email if you would like to use our digital services. We have an app called Bard. It's the Braille and audio reading downloads, like instant audio downloads.
Wow.
Think of Audible, but this free service. And then we do require, for minors that use service, we require parental acknowledgement. Just a parent signing saying, yes, they understand that they're using a federal service, and that if they're no longer using the equipment, that they return it to us, because everything we send out is on an extended loan. You can keep it as long as you need it, but if you don't want it anymore, then you would send it back to us.
Right.
And then the last important part that you need, I guess two last important parts on the application. So you need a certifying authority.
Okay.
And so what that does is you would ask your doctor, a third-party professional is what it says. So a doctor, a social worker, a healthcare worker of any kind, a teacher, a principal, a librarian, your public librarians can certify you and say, yes, I believe you qualify for this service and that you need these services. This is not something, for our certifying authorities, this is not something to be weary of. We do not call and check with each application because we're a staff of 6.
Right.
We don't have time for that.
Right.
And it's just ensuring that you're doing your due diligence with a federal service, saying that you do qualify for this and need these services.
You know, and the key here is knowing that we have this type of service to apply for and qualify, and to see if we do qualify. But it seems like it's an easy step, easy process to get more and more people involved.
Oh, yeah. And then you would save the PDF. We also have paper applications. If people want to call us, we could mail them one. And they would either mail it back in, fax it into us, or email it into us. And so another thing is that if you want to sign up for our cartridge-based service that I talked about, you would be thinking about what you like to read. Like, what do you like to read? Because some people, you put them on the spot and they're like, I don't know anything. So you would think about what you like to read so that you can let us know whenever we call you and initiate service. And we can set up your profile where we only send you things that you tell us that you like to read.
Yeah, sort of like when you are downloading an app or something, and I'll get to that question too. Downloading an app, uh, and they'll ask you if it's a sport app.
Yeah,
They'll
like what
ask
your
you,
interests
yeah,
are. Yeah.
your favorite team and
Mhm.
all of these things, and then they'll supply you automatically with
Yeah.
the information.
Well, the
Yeah.
one way that our service is a little bit different with that is you also tell us what you hate to read. You tell us
Okay.
what you just, oh, I just really don't like that author. And it even goes so far as, I don't like that narrator. I don't like the way their voice sounds. I don't want to read anything by them anymore. You
Right.
tell us that, we'll say, okay, and we'll put it in your preferences, and you won't get anything
Right.
by that narrator, that author, that genre anymore.
So this is huge. Again, we're talking to Miranda Loper, Director of Talking Book Service, because we want to provide information for those who we sometimes take for granted that we all can just read and get the information that we need. And that's not always the case, particularly with seniors. And now I'm finding out, I mean, you open up a whole nother door that I wasn't even thinking about, the disability of like autism and things like that. And
And
that
with visual impairments that
visual,
set in later in life,
yes,
such as macular degeneration and things
absolutely.
like
And you've
that.
been reading all your life and now you can't anymore and you
Yes.
just settle.
And it's hard emotionally. That is the group of folks we serve that have the hardest time admitting that they need help, and wanting to, just almost being scared to ask for
Yeah.
that help.
So like Miranda, you mentioned, how emotionally this can affect people.
Mhm.
And when you go into depression, can cause the body to, to the immune system can 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 go down because depression is
Mhm.
big on that, and we don't know why this is happening. But so this can help us health wise for sure if we're excited about
Yeah.
what we're listening to,
Yeah.
and we know we have another book that's coming we can listen to. It's just it's giving hope.
And not only, do you have those books to listen to and librarians to talk to who support you, because anytime you call, you're talking to one of our staff members.
Right.
And so it's also important to know that we're librarians. We can hook you up with resources. So for the emotional aspect, we actually have a resource that we can refer people to
Okay.
if they're having a particularly hard time dealing emotionally, and need some support.
Yeah.
It's called Hadley.
Okay.
They've been around for a long time, and so we can put people's information in, and Hadley will set them up with a phone call based support group where they can get emotional support for what they're experiencing and talk to
Wow.
other people who are going through the same thing, because that helps so much, that community aspect.
Talk about community aspect. I mean, yes, well, we have this. Yeah, every month we always try and have a CC community champion. You're definitely a community champion. What you all are doing
Thank
over
you.
there is really bringing value to our people. And listen, it's a whole nother world once you're able to do what you thought you couldn't do. Can you imagine the feeling? You
Yeah.
have experienced it, I'm sure, but
Once you start, I've seen our patrons who were kind of in that place of despair, and they get their confidence back. I mean, and it really does so much for your mind and your body,
yes.
and being able to have that confidence and feel hope again. I mean, hope is so essential to the human existence.
And it's healthier for us.
Yes.
Without hope, it's like it diminishes health because, I mean, feed your body, feed your mind.
Mhm.
We need to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we titled this particular message, Food for the Body, Books for the Mind, Building Health in Mississippi. And you're over the whole state of Mississippi.
Yes.
Right? So this listening audience, listen, wherever you're listening to us at, there's hope.
Yes.
Yes.
There is hope.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back. And we're talking to, again, guys, Miranda Loper, Talking Book Service Director of Mississippi Library Commission. We're bringing you some valuable information that's going to help you with that motivation, even to get recipes and from magazines that you now can read.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to WMPR 90.1, providing you with some helpful, healthy information.
Every Thursday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. on WMPR 90.1 FM and streaming live on YouTube. Join Chef Charles as he serves up fresh, practical health tips you can use on the go. From energizing food facts to life-changing wellness advice, this show is your weekly dose of inspiration. Your health is your greatest wealth, and it's worth fighting for. Catch My Health, My Mississippi live on WMPR 90.1 FM and on YouTube at Charles and the Fighters. Don't miss it. Let food power your mood and fuel your life. We're proud to have My Health, My Mississippi as a sponsor on WMPR 90.1.
The future in great health today. Every day, responsible self. Where the fires we fight for. The future in great health today. Every day, responsible self. Where the fires we fight for. The future.
Well, we're back. WMPR 90.1, number one station in the nation that's providing you with some healthy, helpful information. And you're listening to My Health, My Mississippi, the number one show on the radio. And we have with us this morning Miss Miranda Loper, Director of Talking Book Service of Mississippi, Director of Mississippi Library Commission. But the information has been so incredible. I mean, so incredible, Miranda.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive right back into it. But this portion of our show is called Who Am I? And it is sponsored by Plant Strong. Plant Strong is where you can go online. If you go to plantstrong.com/fighters fuel, FIGHTERFUEL. We want that fuel in our body. We're the fighters. Fighters stand for future in great health, today, every day, responsible self. And Miranda, we're feeding our minds, and you're sharing with people how we can still, even if we're having problem with our vision or disability, we can still read great books to help us to be motivated. It is that support group. Listen, you've been feeling alone, get you a book while you're at home, right?
Yeah.
And this is coming through the mail. All right, so again, this portion of the show is Who Am I? And I'm going to describe this particular one is a fruit, Miranda. We're going to describe a fruit. And so if you know it in knowledge, let us know which one it is. Okay, now, I'm rich in vitamin C. Who am I? I am packed with vitamin C, which strengthens the immune system and helps the body fight infection. I support heart. The fiber, potassium, and antioxidant in me can help support healthy blood pressure. I'm high in fiber. I contain soluble fiber that helps support digestion and help lower cholesterol. Oh, y'all need me. I help reduce the inflammation. I contain antioxidant like flavonoid that helps reduce inflammation in the body. Listen, here's the clue. I'm round and bright, and my color looks a lot like a beautiful sunset. Whoa, how somebody get this already on the internet? I'm telling you, that's good. You're right. Here's another clue. I grow on trees and love warm sunshine. If you take off my outer jacket, you'll discover that I'm made up of several neat little sections inside. One more clue. Many people enjoy drinking my juice first thing in the morning with breakfast. So somebody has already put it in. Rose put orange, and orange it is. Did you know orange have all those incredible benefits to it?
Yes, I actually try to eat oranges more during the wintertime.
Mhm.
One, because that's whenever they're more in season and they taste better.
Mm-hmm.
And two, because that vitamin C helps your immune system
Builds
with
your
all of these
immune system.
colds.
And now listen though, you see, if you can't read this and you have problems reading, so thank you for the value that, I mean, that you all are bringing to the state of Mississippi, and this is national, right?
Yes, there is a network library in every single state. So if you're here, you're listening, and you're visiting family maybe from another state, there is a network library in your state. You can actually go to, you can Google the National Library Service or type in nls.gov.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go to their website. They have a page called Find My Library.
Find my
And
library.
you would click on your state,
Okay.
and it gives you all the information. So if you were to click on
That's
Mississippi,
good.
it would give you my name,
Mm-hmm.
our contact information, our address, and our website. So you can go on there and find your library. It's a really great resource.
That is so good because people all over, guys, and we have folks listening to us here from South Carolina, from all over, even on the internet and everything. So you have access to this wherever you are, right?
Yes.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Bringing the value. That is good. So I know it brings you joy though to do this.
It
Because I
does.
remember when we first met, you just bubbling over, talking about what you was doing. That's why I wanted. And it was such a surprise to me that we have this type of service, Miranda. And that's why I really wanted you to expose this big secret to everybody.
Yeah, it's like a well-kept secret that doesn't need to be a
No,
secret.
doesn't need to be found.
Yes,
Right?
we need to be found.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working on. We have an incredible outreach librarian. Her name's Megan. You met her there
Yes.
as well.
Uh-huh.
She is available to come and do community resource programs. So any like county or city fair or event, just community programs, we are able to be booked and come out and present or come with a table with information and applications.
Okay.
If you qualify, you can also be signed up that day if we come out to an event for you. So, that is also something that's on our website is outreach. So if you want us to come to an event and talk to some folks, we also go to nursing homes and
Wow, that's good.
veterans homes. And one
Churches,
interesting
you
fact, we do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If we have a
event
good
going?
crowd
Sure.
that we're going to be going for. And so one thing to know is that veterans are a top priority for us. So they get priority service. There's a place on the application where you mark if you're a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And in our system, veterans get served first.
Okay.
So they have priority service because they have served their country.
Oh, exactly.
And we are here to support you.
Just like we talk about fruits, vegetables, because there are 4 categories I always tell people. You got to take care of your body. You want to have vegetables,
Mhm.
right? You want to have some fruits. You want to have your legume, which are your beans and your peas.
Mhm.
And then your grains, you can have oatmeal or different things like that. But those are 4 categories that's going to really help the body do what the body is going to do, right? But mentally, we got to be able to feed our mind. And some of us are at that place where we can't feed our mind. Maybe our parents, maybe someone we know
Mhm.
that can't feed their mind, and they've just started to cope with not feeding that
Yeah.
mind like that.
Well, I guarantee you that those who are listening know someone in their life who could absolutely benefit from this service. It may be them, it may be a parent, it may be a sibling, it may be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So something that we tell folks, we always have a big booth, the Mississippi Library Commission at the book festival.
Yeah.
Every single year, you know, Library Commission books. That's kind of our thing. So we always ask people in our TBS section for talking books,
Okay.
like, do you know someone who has a visual impairment, who maybe has difficulty holding items or holding books to be able to read them, or has a reading disability?
Yeah.
And 90% of people say yes.
Absolutely.
So then they have someone in their life that does qualify. And so that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to grow our service, to provide these resources to more people that we know are out there who can benefit.
That is good. You know, even you mentioned having problem holding books, things like that, which we may not even think about, but you know how arthritis and different things
Yeah.
can happen.
Tremors, Parkinson's. We also serve folks who've had a traumatic brain injury or
Okay.
a stroke, that the physical symptoms of that prevent them from being able to read.
Right. And we don't want anything to prevent them from reading.
No. No,
Because-
definitely not. Reading is so important. There's actually, we work with the Alzheimer's advocacy group pretty often, and reading keeps your brain healthy.
My goodness.
It stimulates your brain.
Feed your body, feed your mind.
Yes.
You need to do it all the time. I'm telling you, we always talk, and that's why we wanted you. We always talk about how we gotta care for the body. I mean, and it's our responsibility to care for this body. But a lot of time, we want to separate the mind from the body, and it's just in our mind we do. But there's some things that we can do. I know my wife she does puzzles and she plays games.
Yes.
And things like that.
Any stimulating activity for your brain is very, very helpful.
Very, very
And it's
helpful.
funny, we actually have a magazine that if you are a Braille reader that you can subscribe to. It's Crossword Extravaganza.
Okay.
And if you've never seen a crossword puzzle in Braille, it's pretty incredible.
Really?
Yes, it is such an amazement to me.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, it just dawned on me that I had no idea that you could do a crossword puzzle in Braille.
You know, I just like the way that you light up when you're talking about
Thank
know,
you.
what you do. So,
I really love what I do and helping the people that we help. It's very fulfilling for me and helps me. I've always wanted to be a community helper.
yeah.
When I was growing up, I was getting my English degree in college, and everybody asked me, "Do you want to be a teacher?" I was like, "I don't think so, but I don't really know." And then I found my way to librarianship. And then I found my way to this very specialized librarianship, and I love it. It's fantastic.
It's home. Huh?
It is.
It's home.
It is.
So when you can bring value to people and you love bringing value, it kind of reminds me of me talking about, you know, my mom died at 58, sister died at 52, another one died at 40, at 54, dad died at 41. And so when I'm helping people now, Miranda, it's exciting because in a way, I'm helping my parents still.
Mhm.
In a way, I'm helping my sister still because there's somebody's mother, there's somebody's sister that need the information that I have. And what you're doing for us this morning is providing for so many moms and sisters and dads
Yeah.
and brothers and thank you for serving the people first who have served this country, because some of them come back you know, with all kinds of conditions, mentally, physically, and it's just sometimes it's not anything better than getting a book
It's like you always have a friend
You
right
always have a friend
Yeah.
with a book. So how have the technology changed? The apps or anything? How's things
Yes.
progressed
So
so
I was waiting for this question.
far? Okay.
So we actually, if you come and visit us in person at the Mississippi Library Commission, we have these display shelves
Okay.
that has older equipment on
Okay.
there. It's like a history shelf.
Oh, I bet.
And so whenever the service was first created, they circulated record players in the mail. Yes, they
Really?
were
Record
very
players.
heavy, very
Wow.
heavy. And they had this top, and it closed up into this box, and they shipped it in a larger box, and
That's
it was
dedication
a
right
whole
there
deal.
now.
And they sent a vinyl record through the mail.
That's good.
It couldn't fit a whole lot on there.
Right.
As we've kind of progressed with technology, we can fit more and more material
Yeah.
on smaller and smaller things. And so then after the record players kind of phased out, the National Library Service started circulating cassette players and
Okay.
cassette tapes. And those circulated for a long time. We actually still get some of those back in the mail today. Today, y'all, if you have a record, if you have a cassette player, we have new things. And no, we don't circulate cassettes any longer. And then once we kind of moved into this like digital age,
Yes.
the players that we circulate now, they're called digital talking book players. And we have those cartridges, and we used to have the cartridges. Whenever USBs came out, they could
Yeah.
only hold just a little bit.
Right.
You would buy one, and it was like maybe a gigabyte
Mm-hmm.
or less than that. And audio files were pretty big. So we had to have maybe one book spanned across 3 of them.
Wow.
So they were called monograph cartridges. They only had one book or less than one book. And they had to be sent out in kind of typical library fashion. You had to wait your turn to get that book. But now we can duplicate books. And what that means is we have everything in a cloud-based system.
Okay.
And we can load those USBs that are much larger, can hold a lot more now.
Yeah.
We can load it with 5 to 15 books per the patron's preference. So whatever that you told us you like to read whenever you first called us, or you call us and let us know, like, hey, I heard about this book on the radio, or I heard about this book on TV, and I'd like to read it. We add it to their list of books that's coming to them.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can put those 5 to 15 books on each cartridge. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
We also have Bard, which is the Braille and audio reading download app. So this is an app that you can put on your computer. It's called Bard Express. You can also put it on your phone. It's Bard Mobile. And it acts just like if anybody has Libby or Hoopla that they use from their public library,
Mm-hmm.
it acts just like that. But the layout of the player looks just like our talking book machines. And you can download up to 250 items a month. A month.
That's
Yes,
incredible.
It's pretty incredible. And it's set that high so that hopefully you don't reach it.
So at this point, I think it'd be good for us to one more time tell people how they can contact us. I see how I've made me part of you all now. Contact us. But
Yes, yes, absolutely.
But tell people again how they can, because this is exciting, how they can reach you and and get some more information real quick.
For sure. So what you can do is you can email us or call us. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can call our Talking Books General Helpline. It is 601-432-4151. Or you can email talkingBooks@mlc.lib.ms.us. And I feel like I'm kind of a pro at saying that. I narrate some of our local magazines. We do have 2 local magazines as well that we narrate, Mississippi Magazine and Mississippi Outdoors. And so I kind of get used to saying our website over and over again.
So, Miranda, as we finish up, is there any misconceptions that we need to try and clear up that people may have about
Yes.
this?
I would like to clear up the misconception that we are not just for adults, that we are only for adults.
Right.
We serve children as well. We have tons of children's books, juvenile books, and young adult books. We serve all ages. Another misconception is that we don't just serve individuals who are blind. We do have those other folks that we serve as well with physical impairments and reading disabilities. While we were created to serve blindness primarily,
Mm-hmm.
the National Library Service has evolved to serve those other groups of populations. And I have two more. So, something I hear pretty often at outreach events, or we're talking to patrons, maybe in a public library, and they say, well, I don't think my disability or my inability is bad enough, that I don't want to take this service away from anybody who truly needs it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys, we have plenty to go around. We are not going to run out of books that are in a cloud to duplicate.
Yeah.
We're not going to run out of equipment. We actually have a new piece of equipment that's come out that connects to those cartridges I was talking about, and it connects to Bard and internet and all of those great things. We're moving along in technology here. But you're not going to take the service away from other people. We have plenty. The National Library Service is a national service. We have enough for the entire nation of folks who qualify. And so you also don't have to be afraid to ask for help. We are here
Please.
to help you.
Please don't be afraid. If you like, again, there's a lot of the cooking magazines now will have recipes in it, and there's so many things that you can get once you open up this world of reading. Okay, so Miranda, what's one thing you wish more people knew about this free program?
So one thing, I have two, but the first thing is that while our name is Talking Book Services, we're called that because the original audiobook was called a talking book.
Okay.
And audiobooks were not popular until recently. They were just talking books for folks who were blind. But we have so many Braille options for anyone who is a Braille reader or blind. Where Braille literacy is at a low, and we're trying to build that within our blindness community. But we also have large print as well. We have a service called Large Print Direct, where we will take those large print books that you let us know you want, mail them to your house.
Wow.
We have some homebound folks who cannot get to their public library. So we send them large print books in the mail, and they send it back in the mailing bag back to us.
Wow.
You don't pay for any postage. Again, this is a free service, guys. Free. You don't pay anything. And then the last thing is we've had kind of a recent boom of like artificial intelligence. And whenever you call for help with any service, a lot of times you get a machine.
Yeah.
And we've had people ask us, well, I don't want to call this number, or say that I don't want to call this number because I'm not going to talk to a real person. And I want everyone to know that we are a 6-person staff. You will always be talking to a real Mississippian who is involved and who desperately wants to help you get the things that you need. And we are here for you. We are your personal librarian in your pocket, your phone. Call us, email us, and we would love to help you.
And I can honestly say they do it with so much enthusiasm. Please put me around people who are excited about doing what they're doing, right? And so I really appreciate it, Miranda. You don't know what this means to me because I come from a family who, didn't have that education, and there are a lot of people for some reason have gotten to the point where they can no longer read, and you are bringing that hope to them. I really appreciate what you all are doing there and the manner in which you're doing it with all the
Thank you.
enthusiasm
Thank
there.
you.
So-
Our staff is incredible. We have a group of folks who are just really dedicated to helping the people that we serve. You know, we have a lady, her name is Miss Margaret, who she initiates service for all of our folks. So she's
Yeah.
the one that calls you most of the time.
Yeah.
And our folks are just like, oh, we love Miss Margaret. They send her Christmas card. She's the sweetest. And we all just really come up with a solution for your individual needs.
Well, thank you. And that's a good stopping point. They come up with a solution for your individual need. Thank you so much for being a part of My Help, My Mississippi.
you.
Miranda.
Thank y'all
This
for
has
having
been
me.
so much fun.
Yes.
So we appreciate what you're doing for the community. You're truly a community champion. So thank you for being with us. Well, you've been listening to My Help, My Mississippi, #1 show on the radio. We'll see you back next Thursday at the same time with some information that'll make a difference in your life. When? For the rest of your life. We've been talking to Miranda Loper and Talking Book Service. So please, whatever you do, make sure you feed your body, but also feed your mind. And we'll see you next week.